Live from Pawtucket, it's a mad show. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Stephen Buckner, joined by my lovely co-host, PJ Pat Tierney. And we're here tonight to talk about movies, or I'll talk about movies. Pat will listen because he hasn't seen any movies.
I read 4 books this week.
Well, if we run out of time, we can have your literary review at the end of the program, something for people to wait for. Well, one of them actually is based on a book, so maybe you read the book and we can talk about that. So a little later in the show, we'll talk about the movie Begonia, which stars Emma Stone. Not one of the top choices I went to see, but maybe we'll get into that. But the first one I want to talk about is the one that came out this weekend, is The Running Man, which is a remake of the 1987 or 88 movie that starred
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
which both are actually based on a book that was written by Stephen King. And it's actually...
As his pseudonym.
Yes, I was about to say that. It's actually the second movie this year to be based on a book that he wrote as Richard Bachman.
Yeah.
And both of them were collected together in one collected...
Yeah, not 4 seasons.
Well, he took, I guess... After he was outed as Richard Bachman, they took like 4 or 5 novels that he wrote as Richard Bachman and published them in their one collection.
Yeah, the Bachman collection, because Thinner is another one.
Yeah. So The Running Man, I actually have never seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I've seen most Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. That's one I've never seen. So I didn't have any expectations going in to see the movie. I didn't think, it's going to live up. And I don't know how well regarded the original Running Man is. I don't know if people really love it or not. I don't think it's one of the major Schwarzenegger movies that people
and it's not one of the
over.
epitomal like Stephen King movies. You think Stephen King movies, you think either, there's 2 camps, either the 1990 It or the new It, The Shining. And there's a few, and Pet Sematary, there's a few others.
Yeah, and
that,
this...
immediately come to mind with Stephen King, but...
This isn't, your typical Stephen King, because it's not horror, it's more sci-fi. So I've never read the book either. I'll, be upfront about that.
I have not read that one.
Yeah, you have not read that one. So I didn't know, watching the movie, whether or not how faithful it was to the original text, or how similar or dissimilar it was from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And I looked into it after seeing the movie because I didn't want to read the differences before seeing it. But after the movie, I found out that this one actually is much more faithful to the original book than the Arnold Schwarzenegger one is. And when I read about the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, it sounds like it's a far cry from the source material. They took some of the basic ideas and then just sort of did their own thing.
I want to make a story and call it The Running Man.
So the premise of this is it takes place in they don't really say it's the future, but it's kind of like a relatively close
to us now, especially.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you remember the first X-Men movie, they said in a not too distant future. That's what it kind of feels like. It is obviously more technologically advanced than we are now, but it doesn't seem a far cry from where we are now. But it is kind of a dystopian thing where the divide between the wealthy and the poor has become even wider. There isn't really much of a middle class at all. It's the poor and the ultra rich. And the poor are just really scraping by it. It's hard for them to get work. It's hard for them to get medicine that they can afford, like real medicine. And the main character, who's played by Glenn Powell, in this. He's got a sick daughter, and he can't afford, he's lost his job. He's been blacklisted, so he can't get a new job. His wife is working double shifts, waitressing, trying to get money for them to live off of. So he needs money to help his sick daughter. And he decides he's going to audition to be on a game show. And there's all these game shows where he's figured out you can win different money. And The Running Man is the most popular of all these game shows. But the premise of The Running Man, he realizes, I don't want anything to do with that. It's too dangerous. Because the premise is that, the contestants on The Running Man are hunted by these group of hunters, and they get paid for as long as they survive. But once the hunters catch them, they kill them.
Yeah.
So it's either you survive long enough to get paid, or you get killed. And so
someone betting against them might be like, I'm going to put $100 million that he's going to get killed, and then they see him on the street and they try and kill him themselves.
Yeah, it's something where the premise of it is that they encourage the viewers to rat the guy out, and you'll get a prize money or something. I don't remember really all the finer details of that. But the main character, when he goes into audition for one of the other game shows, gets talked into becoming a contestant on The Running Man because the promise of the $1 billion prize money for lasting 30 days is pretty tempting. But the owner of the network, who is the network is sort of implied to sort of be like the totalitarian, I can't never say that word, but the ruling government. Basically, corporations are running the country, and the network that runs these game shows is sort of like the biggest corporation of all of them. And they're sort of just running things, which is how they get away with having a game show where people just kill each other. But he kind of convinces him that, he's got a real shot at winning the show more so than anyone else that they've ever had on it. And, even though he says he doesn't want to be on the show, he gets talked into it. So it's him and two other contestants, and basically they're let loose at night. They get a little bit of a head start, and then these hunters come looking for them. And, like I said, the public is encouraged to videotape them if they see them or report on them or whatever. And they have to last 30 days in order to win the prize money. And they establish early on that no one has actually ever lasted the 30 days. Like the first season was the person that lasted the longest. I forget how many days they said they lasted. But most people don't last much longer than 2 weeks on it. But the longer you last, the more money you win. And then also, if you kill a hunter that's coming after you, you get bonus money for that. So there's all these things where, it's all about making money. So it's basically Glenn Powell's character is on the run throughout the movie, trying to hide out at times, other times trying to get out of a city or get into a different city or whatever.
The fugitive, except he also didn't kill his wife.
Yeah. Kind of like The Fugitive, actually. And so it's pretty interesting. I liked it. It's exciting. It's directed by Edgar Wright, who, if you don't know who Edgar Wright is, he did Shaun of the Dead, Baby Driver. He also did, and this movie the movie of his that this reminded me of the most is actually Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
I know I borrowed it on DVD a long time ago, and I can't remember if I watched it or not.
It's not one of my favorite movies of his, but I think it's a popular one. It's kind of like a cult favorite. And but the structure of this one reminds me of that one. And also how it kind of embraces, that movie was all about video game culture. And it was very much embracing that, there were video game sound effects and effects over the film and stuff. And this sort of goes all in on reality TV. Whoever wrote it, and obviously the director, they seem well versed in what is like the most salacious type of stuff in reality TV and what people work. And one thing about the movie is that, it's sort of a critique on, the current public's fascination with reality TV and the nihilism of viewers of all sorts of TV. But at the same time, the movie itself is indulging in a lot of violence and nihilism. So it's a little bit of, it's a critique, but at the same time, it's taking advantage of some of those things. So I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was pretty exciting. One of the better action movies I've seen in a while. Glenn Powell is someone that they keep trying to position as the next big star, even though he's been around for quite a while. He's been in movies that you've probably seen him in and didn't realize he was in it, before he became kind of a bigger name. He was in, the Dark Knight. He had a bit part as a stock trader in a scene with Bane. So he's been around for a while. So it's been a slow, gradually rising road for Glenn Powell. I mean, last year he probably had his really big first tentpole movie with Twisters. And although I don't think that really made him a household name. And I thought that this one would really sort of push him into that A-list stardom, because he does sort of have some charisma. If you ever seen a movie he did last year called Hitman, he was really good in that movie. And I think I talked about that movie on this show. But from what I've heard, the movie didn't do that well over the weekend.
It fell victim to what we've talked about this before offline. Like, there's a whole culture online where they pick movies that are like projected to do well, and they're like, let's tank it.
Yeah.
Like, set all this bad publicity about it and bad reviews before it even comes out, just to tank the movie before it even gets a chance.
Yeah, and it's sad because this is actually a decent movie. And I think I haven't checked what the final numbers were for the weekend, but from what I heard, it was coming in second behind Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which was the third movie in that franchise.
I was just about to ask, like, I saw what won, and I couldn't remember what it was, but it was the magician heist movie.
Yeah, and that, I don't know why that just because I love heist movies, but something about that movie just doesn't appeal to me. I saw the first one, and it was just meh. I never saw the second one, and I was shocked that they even came out with the third one, because the second one I didn't think made any waves at all. But apparently, there's enough of an audience for these movies.
Yeah, the second one actually featured Daniel Radcliffe.
That's right. I remember.
He was a bad guy in it. One of the competing magicians.
I still don't think I saw.
He wanted to break away from his role as Harry Potter, and he got a role as an American magician.
He's got a TV series coming out in the new year.
Not the same one that he was on as a pastor.
No. He was on a TV series for about 4 seasons that was on TBS, which is a very strange show. It's kind of an anthology show. It wasn't the same. It was the same cast every year, but a different story and different characters. And I watched the first maybe 2 seasons and then sort of gave up because it was just mildly funny. It wasn't that great. But the show he has coming out, and this is a tangent from what we were talking about, but it's a show starring him and my mind just blanked, Tracy Morgan, which is written and produced by Tina Fey. So I think it's going to be in the vein of 30 Rock, which is one of the best sitcoms of this, of this century. So if you enjoyed the tone of the humor of 30 Rock, that's a show to look for. And I think that Daniel Radcliffe will do well in that genre. I think he's got a good sort of sense of humor, and I think he'll play well if he's in the Tina Fey type role that she had on 30 Rock. I think he's a good fit for that.
Yeah.
So that's coming next. I think next late winter or next spring. So you can look for that. So the other movie, Running Man, pretty much said everything I really want to say about it, but I recommend it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Not exceptional, but if you're looking to see a decent movie at the theater, and I suggest going to see movies like this at the theater, and that's part of the thing is people just aren't going out to the theaters, and theaters are dying, really. Like a couple have closed in the last month.
Yeah.
So I recommend getting out to the theater to see these movies, because if there are no theaters to support these, you're not going to get, even if you think, oh, I'll just wait till it comes out on streaming. Well, if they're not making, they don't make big money on movies going to streaming. So if the only venue left to see movies is streaming, you're not going to get big movies being made anymore. You're just going to get cheapo, made-for-TV quality movies.
Yep. No Star Wars, just Hercules' Legendary Journeys.
Yes, exactly. All right, so the other movie I went to go see, which I also actually found out after the fact is a remake, but I didn't realize that going into it, but is Begonia, which stars Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. And I'm trying to think if there's any other big names in it.
Is that the one where she's in the haunted house?
No. So the premise of this is that she is a CEO, sort of a powerful CEO of a pharmaceutical company, and she gets kidnapped by Jesse Plemons' character, who is sort of this delusional conspiracy theorist type of guy, and he's convinced his buddy, who is sort of seems like he has some sort of learning disability or something. He comes across as dim, to be polite. But he's convinced him that there are aliens on the planet, and there's this wide-ranging conspiracy where aliens have infiltrated everything, and they're sort of controlling us, and they're trying to destroy our society and destroy us. And he blames aliens for his family being destroyed and his mother being sick and his father leaving and all this stuff. So he's convinced that Emma Stone's character is a high-ranking alien in disguise. So they're going to kidnap her to try to thwart the aliens' plot. So he's very obviously crazy. His friend is just going along with him because he doesn't know any better. He's just believing all the craziness that his friend is shoving down his throat. So they kidnap her, and he does have a plan, not a good plan, but he has a plan, and he locks her up in their basement, and they're just basically sort of like grilling her and torturing her to confess that she is an alien, and to get her to help them in meeting with her alien overlord so that they can convince them to leave Earth alone and go away. It's a stupid plan, but it's a plan. But the movie is so weird. It's like a lot of it is very uncomfortable, and there's stuff that happens that, like, I don't know, you don't know if it's a flashback or a dream or if it's really happened or not. And so it makes you sort of question reality of what you're seeing at times. And you do start to question, it's like, okay, he is very obviously crazy, but is he right? And, no one believes him because he is borderline crazy, but he has stumbled onto something real. And is she really an alien? But then other times you're like, no, he's just nuts. And so it has you questioning that back and forth till it gets to just a very sort of gonzo ending. I heard someone describe the movie as being a black comedy, and I'm like, it's not really a comedy at all. It's sort of like, I don't want to say a psychological drama, but that's closer to the description of it than a black comedy. It does have more comedic moments at the end, which to me is sort of a odd shift in tone for the movie at the end. But it does make it a little bit more like some of the director's previous movies. The director is the same person that Emma Stone has worked on the movie Poor Things, and last year's Kinds of Kindness, which was very strange. This movie is not as strange as Kinds of Kindness, but it is strange. And I did sort of guess what was going to happen at the end, although there were some little twists and turns that I didn't predict, but I did sort of guess correctly the end. So
Which has its two-sided blade when you guess correctly, because sometimes it's enjoyable, especially if the film itself or the book itself is really well done. Then even if you guess the answer, it still can be enjoyable. But sometimes when you guess, and it's just, this was too obvious.
See, that's the thing, though. Sometimes it makes it seem like it's obvious that it. And I don't know that it really seems obvious, but you're just guessing certain things because they're leading you to believe something else, and you start thinking, okay, the opposite is going to be.
Well, it's like true. any detective story, and there's a guy who's being super helpful, helping Poirot or whoever it is. I'm like, oh, so you're doing Roger Ackroyd.
Yeah, I haven't read that one. Thanks for ruining it. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, 100 years.
Yeah. But it is well done. I mean, it's definitely well performed by Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. And I have liked the director's previous things, The Favorite, and especially Poor Things. But this one, I don't know that I would want to watch it again because it is a very uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
And Jesse Plemons' character just has this tragic background that just, the more they reveal, the more that gets piled onto him. It's like, no wonder he's the way he is. It's like you feel bad for him. So even though he's, kidnapped this woman and is torturing her, you still, it's like, oh, I feel bad. So I didn't go see that movie on purpose. I was trying to go see a different movie, which I didn't get to see. And of the movies that were starting at the time that I could go see a different movie, this was the only one that I could choose because I would have preferred to go see a couple other movies that I still haven't had the opportunity to see, such as Tron, Ares, and even the Predator movie I would have preferred to have seen, and I've never seen a single Predator movie. So, but there's that. So coming out this week is the new Wicked movie, which I'm sure will be number one. I don't think anyone is going to take that one. So that'll probably be one of the bigger hits of the year. The one I was talking about with you before the show started is coming out, Eternity, starring Elizabeth Olsen and Miles Teller, which is a romantic comedy. That's what I thought I was going to see, a sneak preview of it, and that fell through. But that looks like it's an interesting idea. It kind of reminds me of the movie Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks. I don't know if you ever saw that. That's a good movie. It looks similar to that. Also coming out is Zootopia 2. I know you're not a fan of the first Zootopia. No. I did like it. I don't know if I've rewatched it. I think I may have rewatched it at least once since it came out. But I'm looking forward to this one. I enjoyed the first one, so I like Disney movies. I know a lot of the more recent Disney movies you're not a fan of, but I still
yeah.
like to go out and see the
I
Disney
want
movies.
to be super into the, the new Disney animated feature again, but I mean, nothing has been. Encanto was the last really good one.
I liked Encanto. I didn't love Encanto. I thought it was a little overrated, but the music was definitely good. So that's pretty much it for the month of November. I'm not sure. I think there was one other movie coming out this month, and I've already forgotten what it was. A smaller one, which I don't think is probably going to be in a lot of theaters. I wanted to check to see if it's going to be local, and for the life of me, I can't remember what movie I'm thinking of. But December, I mean, Wicked really is the start of the holiday movie season. So I'm not sure what else is coming in December. I'll have to look. I don't know if there's any really big ones. The biggest one coming out, I have zero interest in seeing, which is the third Avatar movie.
No, thank you.
You couldn't pay me to go see that movie. I didn't see the second one because I hated the first one.
Yeah, I is Zootopia 2 competing with Wicked?
I think it comes out the following week. So Wicked comes out this week, and Zootopia is coming out Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would think that every other studio would like clear the way, like give them a Wicked lot of space.
One movie that I know you're looking forward to, and I need to check the release date because I'm not certain of when it's coming out, if it's coming out this month or next month. I think it's next month. But I was going to mention it to you is Wake Up Dead Man, which is the next, I was going to say Glass Onion, but not Glass Onion. It's the
third
next
Knives Out movie.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in theaters like briefly.
Yes. So that's why I want to make sure I find out what date it's coming out in theaters, because if you miss it in theaters, you're going to have to watch it on Netflix, and I've already gone into how I don't like watching movies on TV.
And I don't have Netflix, so.
There you go. So you got to see it in theaters. So go out and see the movie in a theater, because support your local theater, because if you don't, they're going to close and you won't have any movies to see.
And go see the smaller chains. But even the big chain in this area apparently is like closing everything.
Yeah.
So maybe even support them.
Support your big theaters, support your little theaters, support movie theaters, because it's a different experience seeing a movie in a movie theater. It helps you to become enveloped in the world and buy.
And we don't have the 360-degree screen theaters around here like they do in Los Angeles to show Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
With the AI extension.
Oh, that's actually in Las Vegas, the Sphere, yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, because it feels like it would be a fun experience to do that, but I don't like that they're changing the movie with AI. And granted, they're doing that just so that you can see it in the surround.
Yeah.
But, I don't like that especially how they're recreating performances of dead actors using AI. It's like, they didn't sign up for that. So it's a gray territory.
Good night.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Yeah.